Hey, family, how y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Messages in the Madness with yours truly, Vernon Longhorn Davis. It's Sunday. I'm here. You're here. I'm really glad that you're here. Had a great week. I had a great weekend. And man, I'm just happy to be here. Uh, hey, daughter, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, popping in, spending some time with me. It's been a great week, busy week, traveled a little bit. Happy I'm sorry, happy Mother's Day to the mothers. Those that are with us and those are our heavenly mothers. Thank y'all very much for bringing us and giving us life. I had a surprise this weekend. Yes, I did. Hey, Roger, good to see you. I was performing in Chanute, Kansas, which is this picture right here behind me. And guess who showed up at my show? And people, before I tell you this, people keep surprising me. Here, like not last month, month before, daughters, they showed up and surprised me at a show. And then this weekend, who do I get surprised by? Well, I've been calling him Jim here on the show, but he goes by August. But his name is August Wilson from the show. He showed up and surprised me, him and his brother Waller. Thank y'all very much for sneaking up and making my date. That was really pretty awesome that you guys did that, and I really appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm just doing great. If I was any better, man, it'd be two of me. And that's kind of I don't know if two of me would be a good thing or not. So, but hey, Mr. Net, thanks. Glad to see. How you doing, Mr. Net? Yeah, thank you for stopping by. So, guys, make sure you hit like or love, share the message if you would. Again, like I say, I know it's Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there. Thank y'all very much for what y'all have done and what you do. But tonight's message, we're going to talk about something a little different. We're going to talk about the ones who chose us. We're going to honor the gap standards. That's a good, I don't know. I couldn't find a good way to put that, but those who have stood in the gaps for us. So, again, if you're just joining us, make sure you hit like or love and share the message. Come on, comment with me tonight. Let's have a little fun, okay? So, uh, I do want to acknowledge something. I thank y'all for sharing a piece of your Sunday with me. You could be anywhere. You could be watching Netflix or getting ready for Monday or just minding your business in peace, but you're here. And I don't take that lightly. Oh, I got two daughters watching tonight. All right. Thank you very much. Hey, daughter, good to see you. Happy Mother's Day to you. Annette, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day, Princess. I forgot to say that to you. But Monday, like I said, you guys could be anywhere, but you're here. And I appreciate it, and I don't take that lightly. So I want tonight's message though. I want to shout out Miss Nanette for the message tonight because she suggested the topic for tonight's message. So thank you very much. Baby sis, good to see you. She said, hey, baby, hey, brother dear, and Madness family, happy Sunday, happy Mother's Day to the mamas, step mamas that stepped up. Let's get this good message. And don't forget to like, love, and share. I love it when she says that. Yes, I do. So yeah. Tonight I want to talk about something personal, something universal. Hey, August, I was just talking about you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for surprising me over the weekend. If you guys want to see what James August Wilson looks like, and I'm gonna start calling him August on this show, go to my Facebook page. I posted a picture of him yesterday. Posted a picture on there today of us from yesterday, and those ribs were fantastic. Thank y'all, and thank you, brother, for those. So the message right here. This ain't just about mothers or fathers. It's not. Now, tonight, this isn't about the ones who chose us. No, I take that back. This is about the ones who chose us. Now, don't get me wrong. Mother's Day is a beautiful time. Father's Day is too. It's important. We celebrate those who brought us into the world and raised us up. But let me ask you this. What about the people who didn't have to, but did anyway? What about the childless women who mothered whole neighborhoods, or childless women who raised a child that they didn't have to? What about the foster mothers and the foster fathers that opened their homes to children and let them come in and shared their love and everything else with them? What about the men who never had kids but raised generations through coaching, mentoring, and simply being present? What about those people? The ones who stood in the gaps for us? What about the family friend who pulled you aside when you're on the edge and said, "You're better than this. You know you're better than this"? How about the godmother who came to every graduation or sent you money for every report card or called you on your birthday just to let you know that you were loved? What about the old head at the barbershop who gave you life advice while you was waiting to get your cut? See, those people, they stood in the gap. They were there for you. So let's break this down. When I say stood in the gap, I'm talking about the people who filled in the spaces left empty by life. And as we all know, life happens, whether it was absence or loss or neglect or just circumstance. They weren't always perfect, but they showed up. And man, they usually showed up in a big way. It was silent, but it was huge. Sometimes they showed up with love. Sometimes they showed up with tough love. Sometimes they showed up with food. And I can attest to that one because there was times when growing up, we didn't have food in the house, but we had neighbors who would look out for us and make sure that we ate and let us put our feet up under their table and fed us. Sometimes with silence, they would show up. They didn't say anything, but they were there for you. They showed up with silence and a warm heart and just sat with you and listened to you and loved you. These people weren't legally responsible for you. They didn't share your DNA. They weren't your family. They weren't court ordered to look after you. They chose you. Some of them didn't have much themselves. Sometimes people were breaking off their dinner to share with you. They didn't have much, but they gave, and they gave from their heart. And they weren't looking for anything in return. And in giving, they left fingerprints all over your story. They did. And those people were really, really special. But they don't get a holiday. They don't get flowers. And tonight, though, we're going to change that. Hey, Miss Coley, we are so happy to see you. Thanks. Glad you can make it, make it in. She said, Happy Mother's Day to all. It applies even aunties and other mother figures. I'm with you with that. So let me tell y'all something personal. I had uncles and aunts who helped raise me. Man, my Uncle Johnny, my Aunt Alice, my Uncle Roosevelt, my Auntie Faye, my Aunt Charlene, my Aunt Pearl. Uh, my yeah, those are just from my childhood. They didn't have to do what they did for me, but they did it. And because of them, I am the man that I am today. They helped me. They stood in the gaps. Yes, they had their own children, but they didn't have to. And then there was Mrs. Bush. I'll never forget. She would help and buy clothes for me because my mom didn't have money, but she took a liking to me. And her family, they didn't have, they had one son. He was grown and gone. And she wrapped her arms around me. There was Leon Davis who looked out for me. I can start naming folks, but then I'll start crying. So we're not going to do that. But there were people who didn't sign up to be my parent, but they parented me all the same. We had a neighbor, Miss Carol, who'd sit on that porch every evening, and she was guarding the whole block. She wasn't blood, but you couldn't tell her we weren't hers. All the kids in the neighborhood, this was in New Orleans. You couldn't tell her we were not hers. And then there was a guy we used to call Uncle Ray. He never had any children of his own, but the wisdom he shared with us, the pride he took in my smallest accomplishments, that man helped shape me, taught me how to hold my head up high, how to shake a man's hand, and how to never leave your house without purpose. He stood in the gap. He didn't just stand in the gap. He became the bridge. He became the bridge. Let me see. You guys are talking to me over here. Hey, Andy, good to see you, my friend. He says, I'm trying to make the best of the cards I've been dealt. I'm very lucky and blessed. Yes, you are. Persistence and consistency with determination are the key to success, as well as my mother believing in my potential to become the greatest version of myself. And I hope you hugged and loved on your mother for saying that to you, because that is so true, Andy. Very true. Roger says they did a great job with you. Well, thank you, Roger. I appreciate that, man. I'm not a man without flaws, but I truly thank you for that compliment. Hey, Marcia, good to see you. She said we had villages back then, and you're right, we did. We did have villages. Um, August says helped by mom's friends. There you go. Let's see. Classic Gemini says, you and mom was that for a lot of kids in our neighborhoods. Yeah, we were. I admit we were. I wasn't gonna ring my own bell, but thank you, daughter, for putting that out there, because it was true. Um, I could tell y'all some stories about things that kids have said to me since they've been adults about the influence that we had in their lives. And these were kids that didn't have, well, anyway, we're not going to get into that, but we were able to be a positive influence. So thank you, daughter, for giving me my flowers on that one. Um, Shani says, Autumn says, hi, Papa. Hey, baby girl, Papa, I love you. Um, so let's talk about the invisible legacy. These people who stood in the gap, they don't always get credit. They don't. There's no bonus parent day, no national holiday for uh, community auntie appreciation. They don't get brunches or gifts or shout outs in graduation speeches. They don't. But they go and they sit and they celebrate your victory from the back row. Or when you come home with your diploma, they got a gift for you. There's no special brunch for them. I've been looking at brunches all day on Facebook, and none of them said for the people who stood in the gap for me. But make no mistake, they changed lives. They changed my life quietly, consistently, with no need for applause, for no need for appreciation. They were rewarded by seeing you become better. They left behind invisible legacies in the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we love, and even the way we lead. Their words became our mantras. Their hugs became our security. Their presence made the world just a little safer. If nothing but for that moment, our world was just a little safer because of the people who stood in the gaps for us. Some of us still have people standing in the gaps for us. I thank God every day for my name being spoken positively in rooms that I'm not even in. Those are people that are standing in the gaps for me. They chose us. These people that stood in the gaps, they chose us. And in doing so, they showed us what chosen love really looks like. And that's huge. I'm gonna read a couple of comments, then I'm gonna give you the call to action. We got 3 call to actions tonight, okay? Laura says, I was a single mom for 10 years. My daughter was 6 when we split up. I sought out other single moms in my daughter's elementary school, and we created a network to fill in the gaps for each other. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And by the way, happy belated birthday to you, Laura. We used to call her Laura G. Well, that's her name, but um, August says, and you are still giving even to adults. Thank you, James. Thank you, August, man. I got to get used to calling you August. I got to work on that. But thank you for giving me my flowers on that one, man. Thank you. So here are your 3 call to actions. Tonight, I want you to do something. I want you to put in the chat the person who changed your life. And if you don't want to put it in the chat, just say it out loud. But say their names right now if you can. Whisper it. Whisper the name if you have to. I don't know where you're at or what you're doing. Or put that person's name in the chat. That person that stood in the gap for you. I want you to take a moment to reach out, maybe a phone call, a message, a card, a memory post on your social media, something in honor of them. If they've already passed on, this is your 3rd call to action. If they've already passed on, light a candle or share their story with someone else. This is how you can honor them, because they don't get Mother's Day, they don't get Father's Day, they don't get Military Appreciation Month. Sharita, you know what, daughter? Sharita was good to you and me. God bless her soul. Thank you for putting her name in the chat. Let's not keep that love buried in silence. Let's give them their flowers while they can either still smell them if they're still alive, or let the world smell them on their behalf. Because, see, that kind of love deserves more than a quick thank you. It deserves honor. It deserves appreciation. It deserves remembrance. It really does. So James says, just call me late. Don't call me late for dinner. Okay. Nanette says, there's too many to name. Well, just give me one, Nanette. Give me one. Annette says, Tom, Kathy, McKenna, retired Marine Corps officer. Okay. Neil Graves, I see you. Yeah, Neil's a great guy. Coley says, Terry Moten, Harris Pruitt. All right. My daughter, Shanice says, you and Mr. Net, you two are truly heaven sent. Well, you married our daughters. I mean, you married our son, so I guess we got it. Thank you, Annette. I mean, I wasn't asking for flowers, but thank you very much. So let's look at the other side of the gap. And some of y'all watching, you're the ones in the gap right now. Y'all are the ones filling the gaps right now for other people. Yeah. Maybe you're helping raise your niece or your nephew or cousin. Maybe you're the mentor at work for a younger nurse, a new therapist, and they don't have anybody to talk to or help them make life decisions. Maybe it's you that's doing that at work. Maybe you don't have kids of your own, but every child in your circle sees you as their safe place. They knew that they could come to you and they were going to be safe and they were going to be loved. Don't underestimate what you're doing. Don't underestimate what you've done. You deserve that honor. You're changing lives. You're interrupting cycles. You're planting seeds that may not grow for another 20 years, but When they bloom, oh baby, when they bloom, they're gonna be something beautiful. It's gonna be because you stood tall when someone else couldn't. You're gonna be. It's gonna happen. Let me read some more comments, and we're gonna get to our next section. Um, James says Bill and Ruby Ellis. All right. Marcia says, what daughter? I don't know what you laughing at, but I'm gonna take that. Marcia said I had a whole village in my neighborhood that looked after all of us. 2 minutes name, all gone to glory. Well, again, just give us one name, okay? Baby sis says you and Nellie Bell stood in the gap for me when Mama was in Korea. You were taking care of a whole teenage girl as a young man in his 20s. My Aunt Alice, Aunt Pearl, Auntie Faye, the list goes on. We did the best that we could, baby sis. And we did the best that we could. And thank you for those flowers. Annette says Belcher, Dr. Irma Hernandez. Okay. So, man, this time really went fast for me tonight. Let me close with this tonight, y'all. To everyone who stood in the gap, we see you. To everyone who is standing in the gap, please don't stop. Please don't stop. And to everyone who needed someone to stand in that gap and got it, you owe it to yourself to celebrate them. So tonight, this message is for the auntie who raised the village. Yeah, the auntie who helped raise that village. The coach who made you believe you were more than your situation. The next door neighbor who fed you like her own. The cousin who took you in, the auntie that took you in, the uncle who took you in, the best friend of the family who took you in, the godfather who bought you your first suit, or godmother who bought you your first dress, the teacher who saw your genius before you did. I had one of those, Miss Shepherd. The elder who spoke life into you on a random Thursday. Those people are special. And we have to say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you again for loving when it wasn't required. Thank you for giving when you didn't have to. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you. So, hey, Miss Brown, good to see you. She said, Miss Brown said, Lizzie Alice Cotton. Marcia says, Aunt Lee, my dad's sister, had no children. Wallace, hey, Wallace, thanks for coming last night. Yeah, he says, I enjoyed your show last night in Chanute. Thank you very much for being there, man. I appreciate it, and thank you for being there. James, I'm just gonna call him. August says, you are the gap bridge for us. Well, I thank you, my friend. And thank you for sharing that information you shared with me last night. I got you right here, man. So, sorry, guys. I had to catch myself. I was getting a little emotional there. My final thought. You may not have a title. You may not be uncle, auntie, cousin, brother, reverend. You may not have a title. You may not have had a holiday. But you had impact. These people who stood in the gaps for you may not have had titles, I know when I was growing up, everybody had a title. It was either Miss or uncle or cousin, or everybody had a title. But just because you didn't have a title, or they didn't have a title, or you currently don't have a title, you had impact. And that lasts forever. That doesn't go away. It just doesn't. There are things that I still do today that someone who was not my family taught me. I still remember I had a middle school counselor who knew that my auntie was taking care of me, but she knew I did not have a winter coat. So she got me it was a bomber jacket. I love that bomber jacket. And she got that bomber jacket, and it wasn't the school colors. I don't know where she got it from, but it was red and gray, and it was too big. And she had my name embroidered on it. It said Man Davis. It was the first thing in my life I had ever had embroidered. And to this day, I still love stuff that was embroidered. That's embroidered. Well, okay, let me explain. Man is the nickname that my family calls me at home. You got to really, really know me to call me man. And it's MANN. And one weekend she picked me up, and I spent the weekend at her house. She really stood in the gap for me. I had Miss Shepherd, who stood up, and she had no kids. She bought my school supplies that I needed for 8th grade because I didn't have the money. We didn't have the money. And she rode me like a stolen mule. She was my science teacher. And she made me take honor science. And then she made me take science in the summertime. And then I learned later on that the reason why she made me take summer school science is so that she could make sure I ate in the summertime. I've had officers in the military look out for me. I've had people in corporate America look out for me. They have stood in the gaps, as all of us have had someone to stand in the gap for them. Please don't forget them. Keep them in your prayers. Keep them in your thoughts. Thank y'all for sharing the names of those people tonight, because they mean something. They didn't get a holiday, but they mean something. You are standing in the gap for somebody. You don't get a holiday, but you still mean a lot. Thank you for filling those gaps. So Marcia says, thank you for this. So glad I listened today. Keep up the amazing work. You are an inspiration. Well, thank you, Marcia. I appreciate that. So, guys, that's the message for the night. Man, that went fast. That went fast. So remember, the ones who chose us, the people who stood in the gaps for you. This has been Messages in the Madness, y'all. I'm Vernon Longhorn Davis, and I want you to be the gap when you can't find the bridge. Stand tall, love hard, and don't forget, some of the greatest parents never had a child at all. Until next Sunday, God bless y'all. $2.